Confidence in trading doesn't arrive in a flash of brilliance. It comes quietly, often after the market has done everything it can to shake you. I learned this the first time I sat through a position that stripped away every ounce of certainty I thought I had. The tape was moving against me. The room felt smaller with every tick, and I kept asking myself the same question every trader eventually faces. Do you trust the plan you made, or do you trust your fear? Every profitable trader encounters this moment. And most fail, not because the market is too volatile, but because their mind is too loud. Confidence is not built on winning streaks. Winning streaks deceive you. They pat you on the back and convince you that you're brilliant. But real confidence comes from the days when you want to abandon your rules and don't. It comes from staying loyal to your plan when your emotions beg you to rewrite it. It comes from realizing that the market isn't testing your strategy. It's testing you. Until a trader understands this, he remains a passenger in his own decisions, never truly in control. When I reflect on the moments that shaped me, they weren't the big wins or the trades people admire. They were the moments when I sat alone with positions that felt uncomfortable, even frightening, but were perfectly aligned with my rules. Those were the crucibles where confidence was forged. Not because the trades always worked out, some didn't, but because I chose discipline over impulse. This is the psychology most traders miss. They think they lack skill when in reality they lack trust in the work they've already done. The market exposes every weakness in your mindset. If you don't trust your plan, it shows immediately. If you don't trust your rules, the market will drag you around like a leaf in a storm. Confidence is your anchor, the only thing that keeps you steady through constant fluctuations. The deeper truth is simple. You can only anchor yourself to something you truly believe in. If you don't believe in your own plan, you won't last long enough for it to reward you. Most traders think they need more indicators, more setups, more strategies. They don't. What they need is conviction. Clarity so strong that when the market screams, their mind remains quiet. That kind of confidence doesn't come from theory. It comes from experience, discipline, and the willingness to sit in discomfort without breaking your rules. When I finally understood this, everything changed, not because the market changed, but because I did. The difference between a trader who survives and one who fails is rarely skill, it's mindset. Every time I see someone abandon their plan after a minor shake, I know their outcome before they place the next trade. The market doesn't need to do anything extraordinary. It simply waits for the unprepared mind to betray itself. That betrayal is subtle. It starts as doubt, a quiet voice, suggesting you adjust, just this once. That one adjustment is where most traders lose more than money. They lose trust in themselves. And once that trust is gone, confidence disappears. No strategy, no indicator, no secret pattern can replace it. I learned to welcome pressure, to see it as a signal, not a threat. When the market begins to shake my conviction, I recognize it as the threshold of growth. Every seasoned trader experiences this moment, the pit of fear that tests mental strength. But not every trader survives it. You can hear it in their decisions. Hesitation, overcorrection, the urge to control the market instead of following the plan. These are signs of a mind still controlled by emotion. The trader who succeeds has the quiet ability to do nothing, to simply follow the rules already in place. Confidence, in its purest form, is stillness in chaos. Ironically, most people chase confidence instead of building it. They read books, study charts, follow mentors, but confidence cannot be borrowed from someone else's success. It is earned in private moments when no one is watching, when you face the chart, your account, and your own doubt, and still say, I trust my plan, I trust my process, I trust myself. That is the invisible work, the part no one sees, yet it determines everything. Every meaningful trade I've ever held required me to silence impulse and follow my rules. There is no shortcut, no formula, only discipline moment after moment, until fear loses its power. Most traders underestimate how destructive their own thoughts can be. The market doesn't betray you, your mind does. The chart doesn't whisper that you're failing. Your thoughts do. They create stories of doubt, fear, and hesitation, and every time you listen, you weaken your confidence. I learned to recognize these moments, the tightening in my chest, the urge to interfere, and treat them as signals of growth. The more I resisted, the stronger my confidence became. The market rewarded patience, clarity, and discipline, not emotional reactions. Confidence also requires humility. You cannot trust a plan if you believe you are smarter than the market. The market doesn't care about ego. It doesn't respond to ambition. It moves independently, without concern for your expectations. When I stopped trying to force outcomes and accepted probabilities, my confidence transformed. It was no longer fragile hope. It became steady conviction. I could sit through difficult trades with clarity, not certainty of outcome, but certainty in my process. That is what allows a trader to survive volatility. Not gut feeling, but disciplined execution. Confidence grows gradually, through repeated adherence to rules, through enduring discomfort without acting on impulse, through loyalty to your process. The market isn't just teaching you about money, it's teaching you about yourself. Every trade is a mirror. It shows whether you truly trust your plan or only believe in control. Those who face this truth grow stronger. Those who avoid it break under pressure. I remember trades that tested me deeply. Nights when everything urged me to exit, but my plan said stay. Every time I honored that plan, I built unshakable confidence, not because of profit, but because I trusted myself. That is the difference between long-term success and short-term survival. Confidence is not permanent. It grows with discipline and fades with fear. The trader who believes he is always confident is already at risk, because he confuses ego with mastery. True confidence is flexible. It is tested constantly. It is reinforced in moments when you could abandon your plan, but don't. That is mastery. And eventually you realize something even deeper. Confidence is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about how you respond to them. Every trader will fail. Every trader will face doubt. The difference between recovery and ruin is psychological, not technical. When I experienced my first major losses, the real damage wasn't financial. It was the loss of trust in my own judgment. I had broken my rules, and the market exposed me. That lesson became the foundation of my confidence. I understood that progress comes through self-trust, not hope. The market is relentless. It challenges every decision. But your mind is often louder. It creates doubt, fear, and hesitation. Most traders act on these emotions instead of observing them, and that is their downfall. Confidence is the ability to see fear, acknowledge it, and still follow your plan. Trading is largely psychological. Strategies only work if your mind allows them to. I've seen great strategies fail due to lack of discipline, and simple strategies succeed through consistency. Your plan is only as strong as your commitment to it, and that commitment is invisible. No one rewards you for discipline in private, but that's where confidence is built. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is action despite fear. Hesitation is often more costly than failure. Losing a trade is temporary. Losing belief in yourself can be permanent. Confidence, ultimately, is survival. The market also teaches patience. The urge to act is constant, but sometimes the best decision is stillness. Every moment of waiting strengthens or weakens your confidence. And when the market aligns with your plan, the reward is not just profit, it's trust in yourself. That trust, repeated over time, becomes unshakable. One of the biggest illusions in trading is believing confidence comes from results. It doesn't. Results are a byproduct of discipline, not the source of it. Confidence is built through process, through consistency, restraint, and loyalty to your plan under pressure. The market is fast, unforgiving, and indifferent. Your co-end evidence must be the same. And finally, there is a dangerous trap: overconfidence disguised as skill. A few wins can create the illusion of mastery, but arrogance is untested belief in yourself. Confidence is tested trust in your process. One depends on outcomes. The other depends on discipline. The market punishes arrogance swiftly, often cruelly. It rewards confidence slowly, subtly, and without fanfare. That is why patience is indispensable, not just in trading, but in the development of your own psychology. I have seen traders collapse under the weight of their own minds, more often than under any market crash. The human brain can act like a predator disguised as a friend. It invents stories, exaggerates fear, and minimizes logic. Every profitable trader must learn to become a silent observer of their own thoughts, recognizing when fear attempts to hijack decisions. That observation is not passive. It requires strength. The strength to pause, to breathe, to reaffirm the plan, and to ignore the constant what if echoing in the mind. Practice daily. This builds a kind of mental armor that no loss, sudden reversal or spike in volatility can penetrate. That is the secret behind lasting success. Even the most experienced traders are tested continuously. Confidence never becomes permanent. It is a living quality that must be reinforced through repeated proof of self-trust. Every trade, every session, every test either strengthens or weakens it. This is why journaling, reflection, and honest evaluation are essential. They act as mirrors, revealing whether you are loyal to your rules or betraying them. Traders who neglect this may succeed temporarily, but they are building confidence on sand, not stone. Temporary wins can never replace tested trust in your own decisions. Perhaps the hardest lesson is accepting that losses are inevitable, but self-betrayal is optional. Every trader experiences fear, doubt, and uncertainty. But only those who maintain discipline, honor their plan, and resist interference preserve their confidence. Every act of discipline is a brick in your foundation. Every moment of weakness creates a crack that will widen under pressure. The choice is simple, but execution is difficult. That is why so few traders truly master themselves. Once a trader begins to understand this, the real work begins, mastering patience under pressure. It is easy to follow a plan when the market behaves predictably. Anyone can feel confident when everything goes as expected. But real confidence is forged in chaos. When the market moves against you, when every instinct urges you to abandon your plan. I have held positions that felt unbearable, trades that could break weaker minds. Yet each time I chose discipline over impulse, I discovered something powerful. The market eventually rewards clarity, loyalty, and courage. It may take hours, days, or even weeks, but the trader who stands firm begins to see patterns, not just in the market, but within himself. He learns what he can control and what he cannot. That realization becomes the foundation of lasting confidence. Every tick, every loss, every temporary win is a test. They are not proof of brilliance or failure. They are reflections. Most traders avoid that reflection, afraid of what they might see. But self-awareness is the hidden advantage no one talks about. You cannot control the market, its volatility, its news, its sudden shifts. But you can control your reactions. You can control whether you follow your rules or surrender to impulse. That control is where confidence lives. The urge to interfere with your plan never disappears. I've felt it countless times. The whisper, telling you to adjust the stop, exit early, or tweak the entry. Each whisper is a test of loyalty to your process. Most traders fail these tests repeatedly, often without realizing it. They justify small rule breaking as protection, but the market punishes inconsistency. Every deviation weakens confidence. The lesson is simple, but unforgiving. To trust your plan fully, you must resist the urge to interfere. You must learn to observe, to wait, and to act only when your rules demand it. And each time you succeed, your confidence strengthens quietly, until one day it becomes unshakable. Experience teaches that fear always comes before clarity. Doubt comes before certainty. Anxiety comes before calm. Every profitable trade follows this pattern. Tension first, clarity later. If you can hold your ground, confidence is the bridge between fear and clarity, the willingness to endure discomfort long enough for your plan to prove itself. With time, you begin to expect fear, even welcome it, not as a threat, but as a signal that your discipline is being tested. It transforms from an enemy into an indicator of growth. There is a quiet precision in how a confident trader operates. He does not rush. He does not panic. He does not seek validation from outcomes. His actions are deliberate, measured, and consistent. I have seen traders with average strategies outperform those with brilliant ones, simply because they maintained composure while others panicked. Success in trading does not come from prediction. It comes from self-mastery. And that mastery is invisible. It is built in silence, in discomfort, in moments when no one is watching. when every voice in your head is urging you to act irrationally. That is where confidence lives, and that is why so few truly attain it. The market is indifferent. It does not reward or punish emotions. It simply moves. The trader who survives learns to move with it, guided by rules, not feelings. Every profitable trade I've taken reflects this principle, not because I lacked ear, but because I trusted myself more than my fear. That trust is the unseen force behind every successful decision. One of the hardest skills to develop is accepting temporary losses without losing confidence. The market punishes impatience, ego, and overreaction, but rewards consistency and discipline. I have watched trades that seemed destined to fail turn into significant wins, simply because I stayed committed to the plan. That is the paradox of trading: harsh tests followed by precise rewards. Confidence is what you earn by honoring that paradox consistently. Even the most disciplined trader is tested repeatedly. Fear never disappears. The market never stops challenging you. Confidence is not a fixed state, it is a daily practice. Every trade is another opportunity to prove that your rules are stronger than your impulses, that your process deserves trust. Over time, these proofs compound, building resilience that no market condition can shake. That is the difference between a trader who survives and one who thrives. At its deepest level, confidence requires humility. The trader who believes he is invincible is already at risk. True confidence is quiet, grounded, and self-aware. It respects risk. It accepts uncertainty. It does not boast in success or fear failure. It simply executes correctly, even when everything inside urges otherwise. That quiet, disciplined faith in your process is the final stage of mastery. By the time a trader truly understands confidence, he realizes it is inseparable from self-discipline. The market does not reward cleverness or prediction. It rewards consistency and obedience to one's own rules. I have seen brilliant traders fail because they lacked the discipline to follow their plan under pressure. Confidence is not an idea, it is the result of repeated disciplined action in the face of fear. And once that truth is internalized, everything else becomes secondary. Profit, loss, fear, excitement, all lose their power compared to self-trust. There will be days when the market feels hostile, when nothing works, when every move feels personal. Those are the days that define a trader. The difference between success and failure often comes down to a single moment, the instant you choose discipline over impulse. I have lost more to impatience than to volatility. I have destroyed trades, not because the market was unfair, but because I broke my own rules. Each mistake left a mark, but also a lesson, and those lessons built my understanding of true confidence. It is not perfection, it is loyalty to your process despite imperfection. The market reflects your inner state. It does not create your weaknesses, it exposes them. If you lack patience, it will test it. If you lack discipline, it will punish you. If you lack trust, it will exploit your hesitation. But if you approach the market with clarity and discipline, you will begin to see opportunity where others see chaos. That clarity is confidence. It allows you to act decisively when others hesitate, to remain steady when others panic. Every successful trader has faced moments that could break them. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. But what separates them is simple: loyalty to the plan. Confidence is built in those moments. It is forged in doubt and strengthened through repeated proof of self-trust. That is the invisible work, the real mastery, and it is what allows a trader to endure, grow, and ultimately succeed. Do not confuse confidence with arrogance. It is not loud, it is not reckless, it is quiet, disciplined, and earned. Confidence is not a reckless disregard for risk. It is quiet, deliberate, measured, and self-aware. It acknowledges danger, accepts uncertainty, and remains steadfast. It is the calm within the storm, the anchor in the torrent, the steady hand that executes with certainty even when fear is at its peak. And here lies the final lesson. The market will test you endlessly. But if you build unshakable trust in yourself, if you follow your plan through doubt and discomfort, then nothing outside of you can control your outcome. That is power. That is freedom. That is mastery. The truth is simple, yet rarely understood. The market does not create confidence. You do. Every disciplined action, every resisted impulse, every act of loyalty to your plan becomes a brick in the fortress of self-trust. And once that fortress is built, it becomes unassailable. Losses no longer terrify you. Volatility no longer paralyzes you. Fear no longer dictates your actions. Confidence is no longer fragile. It becomes formidable. It transforms into a quiet certainty that, even when the market moves against you, you will respond correctly, guided not by emotion but by logic, experience, and tested rules. I have seen traders transform before my eyes, from anxious beginners into calm, precise operators of their own destiny. That transformation begins when they accept three truths. Fear is inevitable. Doubt is constant, and losses are part of the game. They come to understand that the only thing truly within their control is their own mind. And when they surrender to that principle, something extraordinary happens. The plan becomes a trusted ally, the market becomes a proving ground, and confidence becomes a living, breathing force within them, quiet, relentless, and unstoppable. In the end, the greatest reward is not money, status, or temporary victories. It is self-mastery. To sit in a trade that would terrify a novice and remain calm. To execute a plan flawlessly while the world screams for distraction. To know without hesitation that your decisions are rooted in discipline, logic, and loyalty to yourself. That is the pinnacle of trading. It is what Eve, right trader, seeks, yet few truly achieve. And once you reach that level, you realize something profound. Confidence is not a destination. It is a journey, one that is renewed with every decision, every trade, every moment you choose your plan over your fear. So take this with you. The market will challenge you. It will tempt you, intimidate you, and push you to your limits. But the trader who survives, the one who thrives, the one who thrives, the one who becomes a master, is the one who trusts his plan when fear is loudest, who acts with discipline when doubt is strongest, and who builds confidence not from outcomes, but from loyalty to himself. That is the silent battle that defines every great trader. That is the psychology of confidence. That is the truth that will carry you through every storm, lifting you above the chaos and allowing you to trade not with fear, but with clarity, certainty, and freedom. Now here's what you should do next. Take a moment after this. Open your trading journal and ask yourself honestly, do I truly trust my plan? Identify where fear has caused you to deviate. Then commit fully to following your rules without compromise. And if you found value in this message, don't just watch, engage. Like, share, and subscribe so you can continue receiving insights that go beyond indicators and strategies. Finally, leave a comment. What is your biggest struggle when it comes to trusting your plan? Or when did you realize fear was holding you back? I read every comment, and this community grows stronger when we learn from each other. Remember this, the market will always test you, but your confidence, built through discipline, patience, and self-trust, is what will make you unstoppable. Take that step today.